Well, this is just a quick video about my latest free designs. These are Clipart designs for spring. There is a slight difference in that there are more files this time, so I have had to put them in a zip file on Google Drive, and you will definitely need to watch this video to understand how to get them and how to use them all, because the method of downloading is slightly different to usual, and you can do a lot more with these files than just printing the PDFs. So this video will show you how to get these free Clipart designs and how to use them in applications such as Procreate, Canva and GoodNotes. Of course, you can still use them in the most basic way by printing the PDFs and snipping out the designs with scissors, to using collage, cards and journaling, etc. But yeah, there's so much more that you can do digitally with these designs. So let's get into how to get them first of all. And this step is really important, so make sure you watch, and then you know what to do once you get into my Google Drive, and you won't have any problems. If you don't watch this, you probably are going to have problems and you won't know what to do about them. So just watch. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but it's going to be worth it because things will go smoothly if you know what you're doing. Well, first of all, you need to get onto my website www.funcraftstodoathome.com, and you'll find a link to it in the description underneath this video, and it's also on the end screen at the end of the video. So here I am on my website, Fun Crafts to Do at Home, and this is the start of my post about this free Clipart for spring. And you will see I'm now putting my name stamp in the middle of all my images now, to help you see straight away which images are mine as opposed to which images are ads, because I know that websites with advertising on are very confusing now. So this is an ad, it's not my image, hence I don't have my name on there. Here we are again, my name, so you know that this is my image. And as another example of an ad, we've got this here that says activate account. That's an advert, it's not my image. Oh, and while we're here, I just want to let you know that this image here is a cut file that I am making available to all Silhouette Cameo users. So if you want to cut out stickers using this design and you have a Silhouette Cameo, there is a file, this file that you can use on your Silhouette Cameo. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that while we're looking at this image. And what I've actually said underneath this image is, if you are a Silhouette Cameo user, you must set your Cameo to print only the blue line, and anyone who is a Silhouette user will know exactly what that means. Oh, and this next section of the blog post is me explaining why it's so important to be able to identify my images so you don't accidentally click on an ad when you go to get my free designs. I always put the link to free designs directly under an image in the caption, because ads can't sneak in between images and captions. The one thing you must understand is that I never ask for payment details. I have no reason to, because I don't sell anything on here. The only way that you would get a pop-up asking for name or payment details is if you clicked on an ad. So click away immediately if that happens. So this is why I now have my name blazed over everything. So here is your free spring Clipart, and you can't mistake this, it's definitely mine. and there is the link underneath. No ads can get in between that image and that link, okay? So you need to click on that link, and then this will happen. It's gonna say couldn't preview file, you may be offline with limited connectivity, try downloading instead. And the reason for that is because the size of the zip file is bigger than the size allowed for you to be able to preview. So you click download and you're going to get another message, which is this: Google Drive can't scan the file for viruses, and that's because it's too big. But because this is my file, I know it's fine, it's perfectly fine. So you click download anyway, and then depending on what device you're using, this will happen. I'm on a desktop Mac, and so I just click the folder that's been downloaded. This is the zip file. I'll click that, and then it opens in my Finder, and you can see in the right hand column there are all of your files. And then all you need to do is download them and save them to wherever you want to save them to, and they are ready to use. And now I am going to tell you exactly what the files are that you're going to get, and I'm going to give you some examples of how you can use them. There are 20 files in all. You get this printable PDF of the designs in this configuration, and you get this printable PNG with the files in this configuration. But the best thing of all is you get each one of these designs on its own separate PNG file, which has a high resolution, and there's so many things that you can do with the individual PNG files, and I'm going to go into detail about that shortly. So there's 17 of these individual images. So you've got the PDF, the PNG, the 17 individual PNGs, and then the final file is the cut file that anyone who has a Silhouette Cameo cutting machine can use to make sheets of stickers, or to just print out onto plain paper so that you can cut the shapes out easily and use them in collage, or to stick on the front of greetings cards, or really any kind of paper craft that you do where you use Clipart. So if you do have a Silhouette machine, this is a much faster way to cut the designs out than fussy cutting with scissors. And if there are any Cricut users that are watching this and wishing they could have the file to cut in Cricut Studio, I don't know if it's possible to use this file in Cricut Studio. I would think not, because I created it in Silhouette Studio. But if you know of a way to use this file in Cricut Studio, I'd be really grateful if you could share that in the comments underneath for any other Cricut users. If you are a Cricut user and you really would like to have this cut file, let me know in the comments underneath. If there are enough of you, I will download Cricut, the Cricut Design Studio, and I will convert this into a file that Cricut users can use as well. It's just that I haven't had the Cricut software on my Mac for quite some time now, because the operating system that I was on wouldn't let me use it. But I've just checked, and the operating system that I now have will allow me to use Cricut Design software. So just let me know, and if there's enough of you, I will do that. I'm going to show you now how you can use the individual PNG files in the Procreate app for iPad. Procreate is a paid-for app, and in March 2026, when I recorded this, it was available in the App Store for $13.99. And that is a one-time only payment, so it's very affordable. For anyone that doesn't have an iPad or doesn't want to pay for an app, I'm going to show you how to use the Canva app, and you can use that on Mac or PC, and I think you can also use it on your iPad or whatever device you use. There is a paid for version. I do have the paid for version, and I'm going to show you how I use that with my PNG designs. But first I'm just going to show you quickly how you use these transparent designs in Procreate. So here I am in the Procreate app on my iPad, and what you need to do is go to the plus sign in the top right corner and create your new document. I'm creating an A4. Tap the layers icon and deselect the background color. Tap on the spanner in the top left, then insert photo. Go to wherever you saved the PNG files and tap on the one you want, and there it is, open in Procreate. There is no background. You can resize it, you can duplicate it, you can rotate it, you can do whatever you want. So with all of the 16 designs that I did, you can choose how many of them you put onto a new A4 sheet. So if you only want 4 of the designs, you can bring them in here, and you can duplicate designs. You can, if you want a big dragonfly and a small dragonfly, you can do that. You could do a whole page of dragonflies in all different sizes. You can do whatever you want, and that is why PNGs are so fantastic. They're not bound to a background, so you can do so many different things with these. Your imagination is the only limit. If this is the first time that you are finding out how to use PNG files, I hope you see how versatile they are, and I'm sure if you're a crafter, you'll be having all kinds of ideas on how you can actually utilize these files in all different ways. And that's kind of the aim of this video, because I really want people to see that there's nothing to be scared of in PNG files. It's just if you don't know how to use them, then yeah, they can seem a bit daunting, but and you don't need Adobe Photoshop to use them. I know I use Photoshop a lot, but I am getting to grips with other applications such as Procreate and Canva, because they're much more affordable. So I'm just going to go on in a moment to show you how you save these files. I'm going to show you how you save them as a PNG file and how to save them as a Photoshop file, which will still be in the separate layers. So at the moment I'm just going through the motions here of copying, duplicating, arranging, so that you can get a good idea of how to use these files in Procreate. Procreate is an extremely creative application that people use for drawing, painting, design, all sorts of things. How I'm using it here is purely to rearrange and resize PNGs. And now I'm showing you how to save them. So you have all these options here: Photoshop, PDF, JPEG, PNG, TIFF. I'm going to show you two. I'm going to show you PNG, and then I am going to show you what happens after you have saved that file as a PNG and also saved it as a Photoshop, a PSD. Actually, I just noticed a third option for saving, which will become relevant in a few moments. You can actually come down to share layers and share PNG files, and what that's going to do is save the files in 7 images, 7 separate images. Okay, so just remember that for later on. I'll bring this up again. Okay, so now I have sent the PSD document from my iPad to my Mac, and I've opened it in Photoshop, and you can see in the right hand column, you can see all the layers just to the right of the screen here. So this is all the separate layers, and that means that I can still move each one of these designs on its own, and that's because I saved it in Procreate as a .psd document, which is a Photoshop document. Now you can open PSD documents in other programs. You don't have to use Photoshop. So I understand that not a huge number of crafters have got Photoshop because it is very, very expensive, and not everyone wants to fork out that kind of money. And to be honest, why would you when you can get equally creative programs for a lot less money? So now we move on to the PNG file that we saved from Procreate, and you'll see this is very different. There's only one layer. It's still transparent, it still hasn't got a background, but all of these images are one layer. So if you wanted to cut them up into separate layers digitally, you would go up to the lasso tool and you would make a line around each individual design. Then you would go to File, Cut and Paste, and then once you've pasted it, it then becomes its own layer. So you would then go through and you would just do that with each of the designs, and then they would all end up on their own layer. Okay, so that's the difference between when you export as a .psd file or a .png. Okay, and that's where this previous clip becomes relevant, because since I saved the PNG the first time, I suddenly realized that you could save the PNG files as separate PNGs. So what I've actually got here is 7 images, because that's how many of the designs I put on the A4 sheet in Procreate. And so once I'd done that, they showed up as 7 individual images. And now we are going to move on to Canva, which, as I said, is free with a paid for one if you want the paid for one. So PNG files are very, very easy to use in Canva, and you can make all kinds of things from t-shirts to mugs to tote bags. And I'm now going to show you how to do that with my free spring clip art. So just type into the search bar whatever it is you want to make. I've typed in mug, and it's going to bring up the mug templates. Now this is going to be different between the free and the paid for version. Okay, so I am using the paid for version, so I'm not quite sure if the mug will come up in the free version, but you will have options for using PNGs on something in the free version. So you need to go here to upload files in the left hand column, and you need to go to your computer and find where you've stored the PNGs, and then bring in whichever images you want, and then you can put it on a mug. It's very, very easy to place and resize, add text to. You just go here to the left column again and add text box, and then from the menu above here you choose the typeface that you want. I'm sorry you can't see that down the left hand side. For some reason my whole screen hasn't recorded. I'm really sorry, but it's basically what I'm doing is going through all the different fonts that are available on Canva. And when you find the one that you want, you just type in whatever text you want, and then you can use the move tool to put the type wherever you want it. I think there's certain parameters that you have to stay inside. Anyway, you can get the basic idea, and you can see how easy it is to design with PNGs in Canva. And these do make really lovely gifts, whether they're on mugs or tote bags or notebooks or greeting cards. What else do they do? Water bottles, all sorts. So I did this one with the hair, and then I did another one with the welly boots with the flowers coming out of them, because I really love this design. I really love these welly boots and flowers. And yeah, so it's quite easy. I think with the free version you are quite limited to what fonts you have. I can't remember how much I paid for the paid for version. It's a yearly amount. I want to say it was around £100. I'm not sure what that is in dollars. Okay, so I just had a look online, and as of March 2026, it's telling me that the Pro plan for individuals is £15 a month, $15 a month, or $120 a year. For the free version, it says you get over 2 million templates, 100 plus design types, 5 GB of storage, and limited Magic Studio AI features. And yeah, I was right. The Pro version in the UK is £100 for a year for one person. I don't see a monthly option there, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. So yeah, that's what I paid, £100 for the year. And I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to show you an app on iPad called GoodNotes. It's a note-taking app. I think you might be able to get it on Android as well, but I have never used Android, and so I really only know my iPad and my iPhone, but I'm pretty sure GoodNotes is universal, so I'm going to show you that next. Well, first you need to make sure that you've saved all the PNG files into an album on your iPad. Then you need to open up the GoodNotes app, which you can get in the App Store, and then tap on the sticker icon up here, and then scroll sideways along the bottom here until you get to the plus sign, and then it's going to ask you to put in a title for this collection. I've just called mine Spring Theme, and then you need to come down to the bottom where it says Add Photos and tap on that, and it's taken me straight into my Spring Clipart album, and then you just select them all, or all the ones that you want. I'm selecting all of mine. And then just tap Create once they're in the collection, and so there you have a new collection. And how you use them is very simple. If you want to bring a sticker into one of your documents, you just tap on stickers, and Spring Theme has come up, but if it doesn't come up, then you just scroll along and find the Spring collection. And then once you've brought your sticker into the document, you can resize it, you can move it around, you can rotate it. You can use these stickers to embellish a page in your diary or whatever you use your notebooks for. It's really very easy. It's very intuitive. It didn't take me long to get to know how to use GoodNotes, and I'm absolutely addicted to it. I've got so many different notebooks. This is just a few of the ones that I have on my dashboard on GoodNotes. I'm not going to scroll up and show you all the others because they are quite private. So, do you see, you could build a complete picture, a lovely spring picture for your diary. Do you see how easy that is? Anyway, these are just a few ideas that I've given you. Instead of me just putting up free printables or free PNGs, whatever, I just thought it would be nice if I gave you more of an insight, because I know there are people out there that probably haven't got a clue how to use PNG files, and it's such a shame because they really are so versatile. And you can have so much fun with them. Anyway, I hope that's helped you. If you have got any questions that you want to ask me, then please ask in the comments below and I will try to get back to you. But do go and have a look at the blog post over on my website, and as I said before, the link is in the description below this video. This is the first time that I've given away so many files in a zip file, So I do anticipate there may be issues for some people, but please let me know in the comments if you have had issues so I can explain what you need to do. And I have given you very explicit visual instructions earlier on in this video to explain how you can get the files, and if you follow those instructions you should be fine. I've done all this on my Mac, so I do accept that if you're on PC there may be issues that I am not aware of, and I will do my best to help anybody that's on a PC, but it's a bit tricky because I don't have one myself, so you may have to Google it to get answers, but I will do my best to help you. Okay, so I suggest you read the blog thoroughly and you watch this whole video, and then you should be confident in how to get the files and how to use them. Well, thank you so much everyone for watching this far. I hope you have fun using the free spring Clipart designs. I have made it possible for people to post pictures over on my community tab on here, so if you want to share your projects with me, please do. And I will see you again soon with another video. Take care everyone. Bye for now.